Joining us now is the legend himself, Gus Johnson. I could not be more excited for this, Gus. This is you are on my bucket list of guys to not even necessarily interview, just talk to. And I guess maybe we should start the interview there. Have you gotten used to this at this point in your career? You've done it all. You've called as big of games as there are in sports. But has the idea of you being a cult of personality, of people tuning in to just to watch you, just to listen to you, have you gotten used to that part of the job yet?
No, because I don't watch the games, I don't watch myself. So
Yeah.
I just go out there and call the game because I like watching the games. I like watching sports. So all that stuff, I don't really, it doesn't exist to me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I like my job. I got a great, just to let you know, and you boys got great job. We got great jobs. So.
Oh, we do. Yeah. But so you don't like you're good at tuning out the noise. You're good at just like locking in, doing the job. And the idea of maybe the internet is a buzz. They're like, all right, there's 2 minutes left. Gus Johnson's calling the game. Everybody get to Fox right now. Like you're good at like,
I don't know nothing about, I
do that.
purposely know nothing about the internet.
All right.
I don't want to know about the internet. I'm scared of the internet. I know it's one of those institutions in our world right now that is an institution, but man, I can't be listening to what everybody has to say, positively or negatively, because I don't want to, from a negative standpoint, I don't want to, get into no negativity. And from a positive standpoint, I don't want to get the big head. So I just try to stay cool and enjoy the games and enjoy delighting in the excellence of these incredible athletes on the college and the pro side that I get a chance to see.
Well, Gus, we wouldn't have you on with us unless history was happening, and we have history that's coming up on January 18th. You may not be watching, but we will be watching you. We have Notre Dame for the first time will be playing at an HBCU. It's your alma mater. You played baseball at Howard, for the people at home that may not know that. What is it like to know that you're going to be able to call this game at your alma mater, to have a prestigious program like Notre Dame come to Howard? What is that moment going to be like for you, Gus?
Well, I think Notre Dame should have been going to Howard forever.
Yeah.
I think all these schools go to play black colleges on the road sometimes, and it has nothing to do with the business. I think it's a wonderful thing that Notre Dame is playing Howard, and they decided to, make the trip to D.C. on Martin Luther King Day and his birthday, and play the Bison. But I don't think that it should be that big a deal. I mean, it should be happening. Why now? Okay,
Yep.
Well, great, happening now, but it's Howard University. Notre Dame is, a great university, but so is Howard University. Same caliber.
Yep.
So it's going to be wonderful because people are excited about it, and I'm excited about it, and Notre Dame's going to feel the might of the blue and white.
There we go. As you said, maybe we should be working to a point where these sorts of things aren't a big deal, but they still are a big deal. That McCord Maker, a 5-star kid, could have conceivably gone to anywhere. He could have gone to Duke. He could have gone to Kentucky. He chose Howard. How important is this? Why does this matter so much beyond the obvious? Like the social justice movement as a whole has trickled down to, as we're talking about college sports, there's now a push for guys to take HBCUs more seriously. And you're starting to see guys put out their Final Four schools or whatever. Maybe they don't pick them, but they're putting them on there. And that certainly didn't happen 10 years ago. What are your thoughts on just kind of where we're going in that direction?
And when I learned being at Howard, what I was most happy about, looking back on it now as a man that's 53 years old, it was just nice being around your own kind, people that are black people that have black lives and black families and black stories and our black African-American history. The people that I met when I was in school are still, many of them, my dearest friends to this day. Guys that I played ball with, my teammates, ladies that, that I was in class with, that I created friendships with. I think that, sometimes sports for the elite athlete is just a springboard to become a professional and earn a living as a professional athlete. And I think that these athletes go to these Power 5 schools, which are predominantly white, because they're looking for an opportunity to play pro ball and play at the highest level. And I think what we're learning over time is that if you can play, they'll find you, period. I don't care where you're playing at. I mean, if you can play, they will find you. So therefore, maybe the kids are looking nowadays for a different kind of experience. To where, when you're African American and you go to an all white school, there is an adjustment period that you have to make, especially if you're an athlete that came from a Black environment. So for African American colleges and universities, that's not the same adjustment doesn't have to take place. It's more natural, it's more organic, it's familiar, because you're looking at people that look like you.
And Gus, one of the things that I find fascinating, you mentioned about learning, and I think one of the things people, need to learn about HBCUs is that it's not a new thing. There's been prominence for quite some time, and you mentioned they'll find you where you are. Earl DePearl Monroe went to Winston-Salem State. You talk about Sam Jones, and you talk about Charles Oakley, and you talk about Ben Wallace, even, in the modern game, Robert Covington, all these guys that went to HBCUs. So how much? Yeah, Rick Mahorn. Exactly. The list goes on. So how much pride do you take in educating, people to let them know that there's been so much talent that's come out of HBCUs, and we're just talking about basketball. I'm talking about, business world, everything. It expands beyond. So what's it like to have that pride and be able to share that with people and share that knowledge?
Oh yeah, man. We're a bunch of bad dudes, man. Bad ladies, bad dudes, man. If you don't know, you should go ask somebody. I think that's really what it is. You got good men and you got good women and educated people that are trying their best to move forward in life and in society and in their education and their spirituality. And I think that, that is the most important thing about it, is the people, the education that we're getting from professors that look like us, the confidence that you get when understanding your history, and our history is just as long as this country. We are a part. We are creators of what's happened here in this country, and to be able to go to a school and experience that and enjoy that, grow from that, learn from that, and you can do that at any university. But when you're African American, I don't know very many countries in this world, and maybe you can have your internet buddies. Look, all right. How many countries in this world have the amount of colleges and universities dedicated to their number one minority?
So, yeah.
Think about that. Historically Black colleges and universities.
Beyond the magnitude of what this game means for HBCUs, I want to talk about what this means for Gus Johnson, Howard alum, going back to your school. That you, it's my understanding, you called when you were a student at Howard, you called basketball games, men's and women's games. Just for you personally, going back to your alma mater to call the Bison, this time now, instead of calling it for whatever, I don't even have a guess as to where they were broadcasting those games when you were on the call when you were a college student. Now you're on Fox, now you're national television, now everybody knows your name. Just kind of, what are your emotions, Gus, as you think on that, just where life is taking you, and now you're going to be back at your alma mater on national TV against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
Man, it's a big deal. Full circle.
Yeah.
That's why I started. So it gave me a chance to live this life that I'm living. I live a great life and have a chance to be around really nice people. And that's because of Howard University. Broadcasting those games right there, right where I'm going to be. On a telephone that only went to the dorm. I remember one of the best days of my life I had broadcast the women's game at Howard. And it would only go back to the dorm. And I got back to the dorm that night after the game because I didn't think anybody was listening and just going to the dorm. And I got back to the dorm that night, and the starting kicker, Gary, for the Bison, I saw him somewhere, and he said, in the dorm, and he said, "Hey, Gus, I listened to your game tonight." And maybe I called him the next day, I'm not sure. But he said, "Hey, man, you got something there. Keep it up." And I said, "You think?" And he said, "Yeah." So be able to go back there, I'm trying not to really think about it. You know, there was a phone plug underneath the desk. Mr. Darden, who ran the facilities, wrote my name on the phone plug, Gus, so I would know where to plug my remote radio kit. And somebody sent me a picture about a month ago. They took a picture of that phone plug, and it still got my name on it.
Wow.
It's a big deal.
Wow.
You know? So I'm looking forward to being back. I'm looking forward to walking in the gym and watching the Bison beat up on Notre Dame.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, we love it. We love it, Gus. And you know, just talking about the authenticity, you know, of your career. You know, you come from Detroit, you go to Howard, you play baseball, like you said. You kind of you fall in love with this career, and you love sports. And I think that's the thing that Titus and I, you know, we can tell when we listen to you call a game. You know, whether it be TJ Sorrentine from the parking lot, you know, all the way up to you watch college football, you know, on Saturdays, you can hear the passion. And, you know, I just wanted to say that, you know, just from our vantage point, we appreciate that because you can tell that you love the game and it means so much to you. And it makes us, the fan at home, love it even more.
We speak on behalf of all the internet people. That
we'll speak for the internet.
Man, I'm not perfect. None of us are. We're all human beings. You know, to me, I think that a play-by-play announcer is one of the best journalists in the world because he's doing things on the fly.
Yep.
Usually, if it's a football game on a 10-story building with hundreds of people down there, and he's keeping it organized.
Yep.
And trying to tell you what's going on from afar, but up close, you know. And I just can't think of a job that would be better for me, for sports fans.
Yep.
And to have an opportunity to be able to be allowed in these gyms, in these stadiums, and to be able to meet these kind of people at universities and teams and presidents and head coaches and star players and stuff like that. My real life has exceeded my dreams. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Tate mentioned some of the famous calls you have, and my God, we could talk for hours about all of them. There's one that stands out to me though, Gus. It was one of your final. I consider this kind of the final Gus Johnson at CBS moment because if I have my timeline right, I think this was the last like big time I remember you during March Madness. But it wasn't even March Madness. It was the Pac-10 tournament in 2011 when Isaiah Thomas hit the shot against Arizona. And that to me is the Gus Johnson call because there's 15 seconds left. And it felt like, from my perspective, every time I rewatch this, it feels like you knew that shot was going in. Every word that came out of your mouth was like, he's about to make this. Like he's about to make this. And then he makes the shot. I guess that's my question. Did you know he was going to make it? Because like that, the way that call went, I don't know if you remember it because, you know, it might have just been another day at the office for you. But the way I encourage everyone listening, by the way, go watch it on YouTube. The way you're calling it is you just keep escalating. If Isaiah Thomas misses that shot, he's putting you out, man. Like he's throwing you under the bus because you have hyped it at that point so high that shot has to go in. It's almost like you willed it in.
Yeah.
Did you know it was going in?
Oh man, I mean, I just believed in Isaiah.
Yeah.
First of all, come on, poetically, the kid's name was Isaiah Thomas.
And Gus, you're a Detroit Piston fan.
Yeah, right.
Isaiah Thomas was, is, and will always be my hero. Isaiah Thomas, Barry Sanders, and Lou Whitaker.
Mm.
Those are my guys for life.
Yep.
So, I mean, when Isaiah, and he was killing them that game. He was killing them. And he little dude, I'm taller than he is. It's just that he was playing, and it was just riveting. I just remember, time was winding down. He walked it over the midcourt line, and Lorenzo Romar was about to call a timeout, and he looked at him, and he was like, no, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
So you're asking, I didn't will the ball in. He said, I got this.
Yeah.
Cleared the floor for him. He was at the top of the key. He's left-handed. He gave him that little back. And he stepped back. You just knew the ball was going to go in. I mean, like, how could that not go in? And fortunately, it went in. And I mean, it was just, to me, it was one, because he had no emotion on his face. If you look, you probably can't see it because you don't see a tight shot of his face, I doubt. But he had no emotion. He said, no, coach, I got this. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Bam. Bam. Game over. Cold-blooded. I mean, it was cold-blooded to me. It was just, that's what real ball players do. That's what stars do. They step up to those situations, those occasions. You cannot deny them.
Mm.
I remember Isaiah Thomas told me one time something that was kind of spooky. This is when he was coaching the Knicks and I was voicing the Knicks. He said, you don't really have to miss. I was like, what do you mean? He said, that's what I'm saying. He said, if you make the decision that you're not going to miss, you don't have to miss.
It's a choice.
Really? He was like, no. If I decide that I'm not going to miss, I'm not going to miss. I mean, and you think about Steph Curry. Yeah. I think I read somewhere yesterday where he hit like 100-something threes in a row.
Yeah.
Did you read it?
Yeah, I think it was 500. Yeah, 500 threes in a row.
Yeah.
Do you believe that? I don't believe that. In a row? Who wrote that?
Steph Curry, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what he said. So when little Isaiah, pulled up and hit that shot in the Pac-10 championship, man, that to me was that's my favorite for basketball.
Mm. 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 And you mentioned
Because
Steph Curry. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever called a walk-off game-winning shot for a championship.
Yeah, like the Chris Jenkins shot.
Yeah.
That would have been an awesome Gus Johnson moment. Yeah, that would have been great. Yeah.
It was an awesome moment in itself.
Yeah.
That was one of to me, that's NC State, but that wasn't a shot. I mean, that was a shot. NC State, Houston.
Yeah, it was an air ball.
It was an air ball.
But that was
kind of, it was like a weird sequence. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that was luck, but it was fortuitous stuff. But the Chris Jenkins shot is the greatest shot to me in college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. As a North Carolina fan, I can even say that. I mean, that's the biggest shot on the biggest stage.
And not only did he hit the shot, Ryan Arcidiacono got him the ball.
Yep.
In that moment, I would want Ryan Arcidiacono on any team, any business
Yep.
that I would be a part of.
Yep.
He passed that ball. It could have been all him.
Yeah. He dropped it back. He was like, he
And
laid
he
it up
dropped
for
it.
him.
He dropped it.
Yeah.
Man, but to me, that's Jay Wright.
Yep.
And then watch Jay Wright's reaction when he hit that shot. He
Man.
is the coldest, coolest dude ever. And I asked him, I said, how come you didn't jump up in the air and celebrate? He was like, because I was thinking about how bad Roy felt when that ball. So I didn't want to. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Talk
You can't, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I
a
do
different
this for a
level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm around people like this for a living.
Yeah. Yep.
You're around people like that for a living. All of the, in sports, sometimes, people act up and people do bad things and people make mistakes. But 95% of it is great.
Yep.
People try to be good people, trying to feed their families and trying to be a part of their sport, college or pro, men, women. So, tell you, man, it's just, getting back to your Isaiah Thomas question, come full circle, that was to me my favorite.
Oh,
Yep.
nice. I'm glad we
Yeah.
agree because that was definitely my favorite. I don't know. I always remember. Is that it, Tate? Is
I
that
think
what we
that's
got for
I think that's it, Gus. We appreciate you coming on and sharing these stories.
Oh, you're
and,
right.
What's
We're
that?
not on the air with you too long.
Yeah,
not too long
yeah.
ago.
With
Yeah.
BJ. With BJ. Yeah.
So how many podcasts do you have?
We appreciate you making time, man. Have fun going back to your alma mater. Howard versus Notre Dame, Martin Luther King Day.
What a weekend.
On Fox. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Thank you for making time for us. We're excited for you. Hopefully the Bison show up. Notre Dame has not been looking great this year, so I think you might be all right.
Upset.
Yeah, might be
I
upset
hope
city.
so.
Hopefully,
hope-
McCurr Maker gets back, hits a game winner at the buzzer, gives you the Isaiah Thomas treatment.
Yeah,
and you
that's
can
what we
give him
need.
the
There you
call
go,
he
man.
deserves. So,
Mouth to God's ears, brother, from your mouth to God's
there you
ears.
go. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Gus.
My man. All right, guys.